CTGP Revolution has had 9 track updates in the year of 2021, and in this video we're gonna be ranking every track that got added / updated to CTGP in this year. Well, not exactly every single track. A good chunk of the updated tracks didn't really change a whole lot about the original track, so only the updates will be included that changed the original track significantly. Also, there are some things that I should clarify before starting with the list. You will quickly realize that nearly every single track that got added / updated in 2021 is really good. So even if a track places near the bottom of the list, it's probably still amazing. And that's why each track will be given a score from 0 to 10, 0 being terrible, 10 being perfect, 5 being neutral. So that way you can see how much I actually like the track. Also, of course, all of this is just my opinion. Be sure to let me know your opinion in the comments down below. I'm always curious to see what other people think about these tracks. And with all that being said, let's start with the ranking, shall we? At number 46 we have SNES Mario Circuit 1, created by ZPL, currently in version 1.0. This, in my opinion, is the only update that negatively impacted the original track. For context, this track actually got updated twice in the year of 2021. The first one got added in July, and then that one already got replaced by another version in November. I will just refer to these versions as the July and the November version. The version that we're talking about right now is actually the newer version, the November version. And this version, in my opinion, is inferior to the July version in pretty much every single aspect. First off, the visuals. While I definitely understand that they went with this visual style to stay more true to the original, I definitely don't agree with this decision. In my opinion, the Mario Kart 8-like visuals of the July version just looked so much better, and I don't really care about the track looking more similar to the original because we already have SNES Mario Circuit 3, which has that exact visual style. I do appreciate that ZPL didn't just copy the visual style of SNES Mario Circuit 3 and instead went with some unique ideas, but yeah, I still think that the July version just looks much better visually. Also, I don't like how the track is 5 laps now, and the ramp in the shortcut being removed is not decision. Don't get me wrong, this is still a big improvement on the version that we had in CTGP prior to 2021, but yeah, I just think this is a major step down from the July version. At number 45 we have SNES Ghost Valley 1, created by Zilly, currently in version 2.0. Good remake, adds a unique visual style to the track. I also like the changes to the track itself. I like how it's now just 3 laps and the speed mod got removed. I also like how the off-road is more visible and the shortcut at the end isn't quite as strong. Why does this track play so low then? Well, that's because it's SNES Ghost Valley 1. This track just has a track design that can't really hold up to most tracks in CTGP, and I will probably replace this with a good remake of SNES Ghost Valley 3. At number 44 we have SNES Cooper Beach 2, created by Luca, currently in version 1.3. Great remake, the visuals look just like a Mario Kart Tour, which is impressive for a game that's over a decade older. I also like how at the water section there's off-road now instead of just holds, and I also like how the shortcut at the end you have to do with a shroom now. But just like with SNES Ghost Valley 1, this is a SNES track, and this track just isn't very interesting. The track design is just super flat, so yeah, that's why it places so low. At number 43 we have GCN Mushroom City, created by Redefy and Talk, currently in version 1.3. As a wise man named Justin once said, it's a good port of the original, but I hate the original. And yep, I 100% agree with that opinion. The port itself doesn't really have any flaws, but I'm just not a fan of Mushroom City. Or any kart track really. Alright, moving on. At number 42 we have SNES Choco Island 2, created by Zilly, currently in version 1.21. This almost counts as a minor update, however I decided to include this anyways because it really did change the original significantly. I used to really hate this track because of all the slow ramps, but thank god these ramps are no longer slow ramps in the new version. That just improves this track by so much, and I don't actually mind playing it anymore. The visuals are a bit nicer as well. At number 41 we have SNES Mario Circuit 1, created by ZPL and Jasper. This is the July version I was talking about earlier. I already explained all the reasons why this version is better than the November version in my opinion, so we'll just leave it there and continue with the next track. At number 40 we have N64 Luigi Raceway, created by Zilly, currently in version 2.01. Good remake, I like all the changes that were made here. The visuals look a little cleaner, I like that you can go onto the boardwalk at any point now, and I also like how they removed the munchers in the off-road, definitely. It's still N64 Luigi Raceway though. This track has never really interested me in the slightest, so that's why it still places near the bottom of the list. At number 39 we have GCN Wario Colosseum, created by TOG, currently in version 1.5.CTGP. Like most tracks down here, it's a pretty good port, but I just don't like the original track that much. There's just too many turns, some of which being way too sharp for most vehicles in the game. And also because this track just basically has no shortcuts and the visuals don't change that much either throughout the entire race. Races on this track often drag on for way too long. On inside drifting bikes this track drives pretty well, and I mostly play inside drifting bikes, but it's still not a track that I will pick online. At number 38 we have GCN Yoshi Circuit, created by TOG, currently in version 1.1. This is a pretty good port, but I just don't like the original track that much. I also didn't like this track in Mario Kart Double Dash, DS and 8. Just like Wario Colosseum, this track just has too many turns. It is definitely better in Mario Kart Wii due to the inside drifting bikes, but yeah, still not a track that I really enjoy that much. Also ZPL recently released a new version of this track which adds some really cool visuals, so that version should probably replace this one. At number 37 we have SNES Mario Circuit 2, created by ZPL, currently in version 2.01. Good port, it's better than the old version, though there's one thing that really bothers me, and that is the fact that this track just looks way too similar to SNES Mario Circuit 1. I understand why they went with this visual style for SNES Mario Circuit 1 to stay more true to the original, because SNES Mario Circuit 1 is the first ever Mario Kart track, but I really don't get why they went with this visual style as well for SNES Mario Circuit 2, especially when there's already a version with completely unique visuals, which was by the way also made by ZPL. I feel like adding that version would have made much more sense. At number 36 we have N64 Frappe Snowland, created by Nintendo Yoshi, currently in version 1.3.1. Great remake, love the visuals here. The track just looks very nice now. This track also drives mostly well, except for one point right before the snowman section that for some reason is very bumpy, and I don't really know why that didn't get fixed. But I'm just nitpicking. Other than the bumpiness, this track is very solid. It's just N64 Frappe Snowland, not the most interesting track, so that's why it places relatively low. At number 35 we have Haunted Gardens, created by Holland, currently in version 1.7. We've arrived at our first original design track, and this in my opinion is the weakest one. Now don't get me wrong, it is a faithful remake of Haunted Woods. It improves the track by a ton, both track design wise and visually, but the problem here is just that it's Haunted Woods, and the track never had a good track design to begin with. There's just way too many sharp turns, weird design choices, and the track itself is a bit too long as well. This track is still good, but maybe it would have made more sense to just completely remove Haunted Woods from the pack and replace it with a track that has a great track design. At number 34 we have SNES Rainbow Road, created by ZPL and Bear, currently in version 2.8. This is the perfect SNES Rainbow Road remake. The visuals here are mind-blowingly great. They managed to hold up with Mario Kart 8's visual style, and that is actually insane. This is one of the best looking tracks of all time for dang sure. The track is also fun to drive with good low trick ramps. Also the slight changes in altitude add at least some interest to the otherwise simple track. There's no flaw here, it's just SNES Rainbow Road. Not the most interesting track, so that's why it places relatively low. At number 33 we have Woohoo Island, created by Funky Dude 15, Redefy and Zagreb, currently in version 1.2. This port is overall good, though not perfect because there are some flaws, especially with the shortcuts and additional pathways. The castle pathway is oddly bumpy, and the Shroomis shortcut can be inconsistent. Also I feel like the grass shortcuts at the end are too strong, as most of the time just the players who have Shrooms at the end are getting the win. Other than those things though, this is a pretty good port. At number 32 we have Summer Starville, created by Spike Kid, currently in version 2.1. This is a massive improvement on the original track, especially when it comes to the visuals. This track definitely looks much more modern now. The track design is also alright, though the track itself is kind of unmemorable for some reason. Maybe it's because this is like the 30th Spike Kid track that's based on a city, who knows. It's still a good track though. At number 31 we have GBA Snowland, created by CP Fusion, currently in version 2.1.1. This is a massive improvement on the old version of GBA Snowland. The additional objects, boost panels and shortcuts make this track feel much more interesting and less boring to play. It also adds really cool visuals, and thank god it's no longer Slippery Road. This track went from one of the most boring retro tracks to a pretty solid track. At number 30 we have N64 Royal Raceway, created by ZPL, currently in version 1.2. Awesome remake, much better than the old version. The track is way shorter now, which makes it feel less boring. The road is both wider and smoother. As per usual with ZPL tracks, the visuals are amazing. But the best part about this remake is that you can still go to the castle despite it being based on the Mario Kart 8 version. Honestly, ZPL should just become the new CEO of Nintendo by this point. At number 29 we have DK Pass created by ZPL, currently in version 2.2b. Yet another great remake by ZPL, who would have thought. This track's way more fun to drive now. Especially the first half of the track is just so much smoother to drive. The downhill section does feel too bumpy though. But other than that, this is about as good as DK Pass can get. At number 28 we have SNES Donut Plains 3 created by Bear and ZPL, currently in version 2.11. This track got quite some changes that improved it by a lot. First off, the off-road got flattened. In the old version the off-road used to be kind of bumpy for some reason, which made doing off-road shortcuts pretty awkward. Now doing off-road shortcuts feels really good. I also like how the wet road is no longer slippery road, because if you haven't already guessed, I don't like slippery roads. And some of the turns being friendlier is also an improvement. Honestly, I start feeling kinda bad for placing so many ZPL tracks so low. But man, he's just been recreating so many tracks that I don't necessarily like. But maybe that's a good thing as well, because now there is no retro track, other than Baby Park, that I truly hate. So good job there, buddy. Hey, if you are enjoying this video so far, then why don't you consider subscribing? It only takes a few seconds and you can change your mind at any point. Thank you for your massive support, and let's continue with the ranking. At number 27 we have Sarasa Kingdom created by Nintendo Yoshi, currently in version 1.8. Out of all the original design tracks that got added this year, Sarasa Kingdom is probably the most forgettable one. The track design is very simple, there is basically no objects and no shortcuts, and the visuals look just like on Daisy Circuit. I feel like this track could have had much more potential. Maybe some Super Mario Land based objects would have made sense, I don't know. Is this track bad? No, but it's also not a track that I would ever think of when it comes to picking it online. Nintendo Yoshi has definitely created some better tracks over the years, so I hope some of those get added eventually. At number 26 we have SNES Donut Plains 2 created by Luca, currently in version 1.2. Yeah, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I do actually prefer SNES Donut Plains 2 slightly over Donut Plains 3. And just like with SNES Donut Plains 3, this track's remake in CTGP is absolutely amazing. It's pretty fun to drive, the visuals are awesome, and thank god the shortcut isn't broken anymore. There isn't too much more to say because this is another pretty simple track, so yeah, let's just move on. At number 25 we have Medieval Castle Grounds created by Joris MKW and K-Hacker 35000 VR, currently in version 1.1b. This is what Luigi Circuit should have been. A beginner track that's still pretty interesting and goes for a unique theme. It has a good track design, good visuals, a good amount of shortcuts, overall just a very solid track. At number 24 we have Mario Castle Raceway created by ZPL and Bree, currently in version 1.01. 3DS Mario Circuit has always been one of my favorite Mario Circuits in the Mario Kart franchise, and this remake sure does its job, with good visuals and a spiral turn that's actually pretty functional. There's basically no flaws here, it's just that the upcoming tracks are more interesting than this one. At number 23 we have Melody Sanctum created by Spy Kid, currently in version 1.3. I know that this is technically considered to be a minor update, however this update made one very crucial change. It reduced the lap count to 2 laps. This change flipped my opinion on the track by 180 degrees. Before that I would always think of this track as being annoying because the races there would just drag on for way too long. But now that it's only 2 laps, it's a really good track, with a mostly good track design. The visuals are pretty bland though, so I hope for a visual overhaul here. At number 22 we have Saltwater Lake created by Bear. This track got both added and removed in 2021, and that is pretty sad because I actually really like the track. It's definitely one of the best short tracks with a good track design and well placed objects. It also has a unique visual style which is always much appreciated. Yes, I know this track got a lot of hate when it got added to CTGP, and that's probably also why it got removed, but I still like the track a lot, and I'm sad that it's gone now. At number 21 we have CTR Engine Labs created by Mystery99, currently in version 1.5. This track does a lot of things right and a lot of things wrong. The first half of the track is amazing. It's super fun to drive with many cool and unique design choices. However, in the second half of the lap, we encounter the main problem of the track. Ramps leading straight into turns. And there's like 5 of these ramps. Now don't get me wrong, with most vehicles clearing these ramps is actually not too hard, but it's just so awkward. Without these ramps, this track would probably be one of my favorite tracks of all time. It is still a great track, but it could have been much better. At number 20 we have DS Luigi's Mansion created by Todd, currently in version 1.2. This is the perfect DS Luigi's Mansion remake. My favorite part here is definitely the scenery around the track, like the booths, walking trees, boo paintings and chandeliers. The visuals are also a little better. Driving wise, this track hasn't changed too much, so my opinion on the track stays about the same. At number 19 we have N64 Choco Mountain, created by Taco Josh, currently in version 1.11. I'm shocked how great this track truly is now. Before this new version, this track was always like really boring and forgettable, but now it's truly an amazing track. First off, it's much shorter, which is always a big plus. The visuals here are amazing, they look just like in Mario Kart Tour, and the inclusion of Mario Kart Tour's cave section with all its additional shortcuts and ramps was such an ingenious idea. All of this combined makes the track feel much more interesting. At number 18 we have Mushroom Valley, created by EC2 Joshi and ZPL, currently in version 1.61. Good remake of an old classic. The track design is mostly good, although it is kinda weird that some parts seem very overscaled. I've seen some people criticizing the visuals and I have no idea why. Aside from maybe the trees, I think that this track looks really good. And the colors here are very unique. The main reason why this track doesn't place higher is because it's a mushroom track, and aside from Mushroom Gorge, I don't really like mushroom tracks. It's still a great track though, and I love going for the shortcut at the start of the lap. At number 17 we have Magmatic Sanctuary, created by ZPL, Jasper and TZ, currently in version 1.43. I feel like this track tries to be something that it's not. This is what I call a Mario Kart 8-a-fight track, which is a track that tries to be interesting by adding a ton of ramps and turns, but in the end turns out to be kinda forgettable. The lack of shortcuts really adds to that as well. It's still a great track though and very fun to drive, and the visuals are amazing, but I feel like some shortcuts and additional pathways wouldn't have hurt the track. At number 16 we have DS Warriors Stadium, created by ZPL, currently in version 1.02. I can't even describe how impressed I am with this remake. ZPL managed to turn one of my least favorite DS tracks into one of my favorite DS tracks. I didn't like the DS version, the Mario Kart 8 version or any version that was in CTGP prior to this version. But this new remake fixed literally everything I used to dislike about any other version. So many great changes were made, like flattening the part with all the boost panels, lowering some ramps and removing the ramps before the last 180-degree turn. All of this combined really adds up and transforms my opinion on DS Warriors Stadium. ZPL truly is the definitive retro track creator. At number 15 we have Water Village, created by Bear. This is the last track that got both added and removed in 2021, and this removal shocked me by far the most. This was truly an amazing track, even for CTGP's high standards. It had a great track design, amazing visuals and many cool shortcuts. This track really needs to be re-added to CTGP. At number 14 we have Windy World, created by Systems, currently in version 1.3.1c. It's weird how such an obscure track manages to be so good, but this truly is a very well created track. The track design is very unique, with tons of different pathways and great shortcuts, and the visuals and scenery do not disappoint. And keep in mind that this is System's first and currently only custom track, so if he decides to do another one, then I can't even imagine how great it's going to be. At number 13 we have Superstar Dystopia, created by Spykit, currently in version 1.0. This is hands down one of Spykit's best tracks so far. The track design is diverse and interesting with many different pathways and shortcuts. The visuals are great as well and fit the theme of the track perfectly. The only thing that bothers me a little bit is one turn being pretty blind, but it's just one turn and it won't change my opinion on the track. At number 12 we have Vile Isle, created by Citrus, currently in version 1.3. This track is just an absolute beauty, especially when it comes to the visuals. This is hands down one of the best looking custom tracks of all time. The track itself is also very fun to drive with many cool shortcuts. The only small thing I can criticize is that the off-road at some sections can be hard to see, but it's not that big of a deal because it's just weak off-road. Overall, just another banger by Citrus. At number 11 we have Envenom Snowstorm, created by Luca, currently in version RC3. This track goes for a much simpler track design and executes it perfectly. The entire track is very fun to drive and the lava bubbles are a very nice inclusion. The visuals are good as well. Overall there is no flaw here. Entering the top 10 we got Pinewood Path, created by Holland, currently in version 1.7.1. Good track, despite its simple theme, this track actually feels very unique. Especially the part after the cave section feels completely different from any other custom track, with the rolling haystacks and obscure shortcuts. The rest of the track is also very fun to play and the visuals are great as well. This is what should have replaced Haunted Woods. At number 9 we have Super Marine World, created by Mr. Fluffy, currently in version 1.1. Mr. Fluffy back at it again with another banger. This track sets its main focus on the visuals and they do not disappoint. The textures and the scenery are just beautiful. The track design also holds up to Mr. Fluffy's other tracks. The entire track is super fun to drive and adds some additional shortcuts and pathways for the extra interest. At number 8 we have Fungal Jungle, created by Taco Josh, currently in version 1.21. Who would have thought that Taco Josh released an amazing track? The visuals are this track's strong suit. The textures look gorgeous and unique. The MIDI buds are also just such a neat inclusion. The track is also very fun to drive with many cool shortcuts. Taco Josh just never disappoints with his tracks. At number 7 we have Pianta Shore, created by Nate Fox, currently in version 1.2.5. I'm impressed how great this track actually is. This is like the seaside resort of 2021. Every single section is incredibly fun to drive, and there's a couple cool shortcuts as well. The visuals look phenomenal as well. But what's even more impressive about this track is that this is Nate Fox's first custom track. He really needs to create another one. At number 6 we have Spectral Station, created by Mr. Fluffy, currently in version 1.1. This track somehow manages to be even better than Mr. Fluffy's other tracks. The track design is top notch. The entire track is super fun to drive with many cool shortcuts, and it's unique as well because of the train. The visuals are great as well. Mr. Fluffy truly is one of the best modern day creators. At number 5 we have Volcano Canyon, created by Mario Kart DS, currently in version 2.2. I feel like this track got slammed hard by many people because of its visuals, and while I do agree that the visuals here aren't that great, the track design more than makes that up in every single regard. The entire track is incredibly fun to drive, and I especially love the section with the 3 split pathways and the unique shortcuts. It just gives you so many options, which makes the track feel much more interesting. It's also by far Mario Kart DS's best custom track. At number 4 we have Musical Cliff, created by Luca, currently in version 1.3. This track is just an absolute joy to play. Every turn, every ramp, every boost panel, every object just feels so right. Every single section is very unique, and every section features its own objects, like the whittles at the start, the belts in the cave, and the fireballs at the end. And I didn't even mention the visuals yet. They are just as great as the track itself. All of this combined makes Musical Cliff one of the most interesting and diverse tracks in CTGP. At number 3 we have Thump Bump Forest, created by Squire Turnbolt, currently in version 1.6. I was shocked when I saw this track for the first time. Before this track, Squire Turnbolt was always just an alright creator in my eyes, who would be creating some alright retro ports, but nothing really outstanding. But he proved me so wrong with this track. Thump Bump Forest is insane. Just like Musical Cliff, the track is incredibly fun to drive. There are so many different unique sections with many different objects, and the visuals are phenomenal. This track truly shows that no matter how new you are to the custom track community, with the right amount of passion you can create one of the best tracks of all time. At number 2 we have Jungle Glade, created by Citrus, currently in version 1.4.1. Remember when I said that Systems or Nate Fox's first custom tracks were impressive? Well, Citrus's first custom track somehow is even better. The track design here is unlike any other track, and it's extremely fun to drive as well. The visuals are amazing, the shortcuts are amazing, everything about this track is just amazing. But there's one track that tops even this one. Finally, at the number 1 spot, we have Dark Matter Fortress, created by Justin, currently in version 1.7.2. This track takes the word impressive, throws it out of the window, and invents a new word for it. The track design here is one of the best I've ever seen. Calling this track fun would be a massive understatement. Every single section is an absolute joy to drive and feels very unique as well. The 2 shortcuts are great, and things like the gravity speeding you up and the chain jump at the end add even more interest to the track. And while the visuals aren't quite as impressive, they don't really matter when the track design is just so good. Is this the best custom track of all time? Probably not. Currently I'm switching back and forth between Sahara Hideout and Glimmer Express trains. But this is the closest we got to those tracks in 2021. And we're done. That's basically it for this ranking. Let me know your opinion in the comments down below. Also feel free to like and subscribe. It helps me a ton. Thank you for your massive support. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. And as always, enjoy Wario on drugs.